Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
If he's found, then it's closure for the family.
Tonight's search efforts ramping up nearly 2 weeks after 22-year-old Riley Strain disappeared downtown. Crews from Cheatham County EMA, the Cajun Navy, and volunteers all coming out to help the family find the missing Missouri college student. Flyers going up all over downtown and near Gay Street tonight, Riley's last known location. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker with the plea from Riley's family tonight.
This search expands from downtown Nashville to Ashland City. Now, earlier today, volunteers gathered from all over right behind me where tents were set up, and they assisted in a ground search. All of this while several other agencies gathered by water over in Cheatham County. 13 days into the search for Riley Strain, groups are lined up and scattered out, hoping to find any clues.
No matter what, we're going home with him, one way or another. Hopefully, we're praying for answers. We're hoping that, it's going to come in the next couple days.
Now, Chris Whited, Strain's stepfather, says almost 2 weeks in, and it's still a very active search for a rescue. Those efforts continued over in Cheatham County, where EMA, TWRA, and the Ashland City Fire had crews on boats.
Over time, it just, things go downriver, so we're just searching down here just in case.
More than 40 miles downstream from Nashville, Edwin Hogan with Cheatham EMA says the search on open water comes with challenges.
The biggest challenge is I don't think there's 100% certainty that he's in the water, just because nobody saw, it's like he disappeared and that's it.
And David Berryman, a local volunteer, used his resources by air, flying his drone 150 feet off the water.
Looking for anomalies on the bank, essentially, is what I'm looking for. A lot of logs, a lot of tires, just anything that just doesn't look quite right.
Berryman says having a family of his own motivated him to get out and help others, especially in some of their toughest hours.
If he's found, then it's closure for the family.
Crews say there's no indication as to how long they'll search these areas. And back out here downtown, Strain's stepfather tells Fox 17 News that if anyone is going to be out here and you do see those tents and you want to volunteer, he's just asking that everyone signs in. That way they know who came down here to help with those search efforts and where they went. He says this way he can really make sure that everyone is staying safe. He doesn't want anyone to get hurt when out searching for his stepson. For now, in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage so far, the search for Strain has mainly been on the Cumberland River. Now, Strain was last seen in the downtown area by the riverfront here. And the search today and last night focusing up in the Cheatham County area, following the water all the way up here. Today's search taking place in the River Bluff all the way up in Ashland City. Well, you can see all of our stories on the search for Riley Strain. Just go to fox17.com and search Riley. Continuing coverage, Tennessee senators are moving forward tonight with legislation to vacate Tennessee State University's board of directors as backlash mounts from the community and some state lawmakers. The Senate voting 25-6 to get rid of the board members but keep the board itself in place. The bill now heads to the House. TSU students argue that they haven't had a voice in the process, while state lawmakers like Nashville Senator Charlene Oliver say a bill like this could lead to mistrust. TSU releasing a statement in response to the bill's passage today, saying in part, "We are disappointed by the Senate vote today. TSU will continue to push for more favorable legislation that would better serve our university family." And covering Capitol tonight, Capitol Hill, Tennessee, forging the path for the rest of the country when it comes to regulating artificial intelligence. Governor Bill Lee inked the Elvis Act today, a first of its kind for the nation to protect recording artists from AI copycats.
Ensuring Likeness, Voice, and Image Security Act, spelling out Elvis. And Thursday, down in the heartbeat of Music City at Robert's Western World on Broadway, Governor Lee signed the legislation, setting the stage for the rest of the country and getting a deal done before Washington could find a solution.
This will be a blueprint, and we expect that it will be enacted multiple times over multiple states.
The legislation shuts down any forms on artificial intelligence trying to rip artists' name and voice to cash in on content that was never approved. It's become one of many dangerous elements taking shape in the new world of AI.
The rest of us are going to just listen and stare and wonder and think, man, where'd you come up with that? And so that's what this bill is all about. It's preserving your gift. It's preserving the magic of what it is to have a soul.
Artists in attendance, Luke Bryan and Lindsay L., showing their gratitude for a state that's fighting for them.
I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to every single person in this room for making it a priority in Tennessee to protect creators' voices and personal attributes. No one wants to hear their voice or see their image taken without permission or used out of context.
While music erupts from the downtown bars of Broadway, a group of lawmakers sticking out in their suit and ties just made sure music, the way you love it, stays exactly the way it is.
Not a crisis in the classroom tonight. The debate over school choice in Tennessee is heating up. This is a passion project for Governor Bill Lee. Tonight, he says he has a lot of hope and hopes that the Senate will get this plan passed. Both chambers have their own versions of the bill working through the state capitol. While the governor says that he has a lot of support, some mid-state school districts have opted out, coming out against it. They're concerned using taxpayer money to send children to private school will hurt already cash-strapped public schools. There's also a provision allowing parents to send their children to other public school districts, which is leading to concerns about overcrowding. Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and finding solutions. If you have a story you think we should cover, send us an email to news@fox17.com. You can also call our tip line at 615-266-4149. New tonight, two separate crashes in Rutherford County involving school buses. Both happened this afternoon off Mansion Pike in Murfreesboro. Police say a bus loaded with students from Blackman Middle School clipped a car with its front bumper. That second accident was about 20 minutes later. Police say the driver of another vehicle had a medical episode and hit the rear bumper of the bus. Thankfully, no students were hurt. New tonight, the city of Laverne settling a lawsuit with a former police officer. Megan Hall sued the city after she says her supervisors on the force took advantage of her, getting her to perform sex acts. The sex scandal rocked the department, leading to the firing of the city's police chief last year. Documents show the city will pay $500,000 to Hall, which includes court costs and attorney's fees. The city did not admit to any wrongdoing. A fire at the Nation's location of the Red Bicycle Coffee Shop, leaving the shop closed for the foreseeable future. Crews arriving overnight to find heavy smoke and flames. Nobody was inside at the time. Shop owners are asking customers to keep their employees in mind when the shop remains closed. They posted online thanking customers for their support. No word tonight on exactly what sparked that fire. All right, we are trending into spring nicely.
Yeah, not too bad. It will be a little on the cool side tonight, a little bit, but more importantly, we're tracking our next rain chance as we head into tomorrow here. So we'll find clouds rolling through overnight. Most of the rain now arriving for Friday afternoon into the early evening hours. We'll talk about how much we could see, and we'll have a look too at our weekend. Things looking a little more lively now on Broadway on this Thursday night. Temperature sitting at 59 degrees with a partly cloudy sky at the moment here. Rain is to our south and to our west. This is going to be where we get our showers from for tomorrow, and main source of energy is still churning through portions of Texas. The good news is severe weather not on the table, and really through a lot of the area. We're not going to find too much in the way of severe thunderstorms. Maybe a few in the deep south, but other than that, we're left with a good old-fashioned rain for tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures, on the other hand, will stay mild for us. So we take a look here at the overnight hours. Should be right around 47 or so for the overnight in Nashville, Murfreesboro around 50, mid to upper 40s out towards the Cumberland Plateau. We're at 45 in Clarksville, Hopkinsville sitting at 44 degrees, and we're looking good as far as temperatures go for tomorrow. Temperatures still a little above average, in fact, despite the clouds and the rain. We'll talk more about the timing for the rain, when those first raindrops are expected to arrive, and more on how much we could end up with in the rain gauge. That's all in your file.
New tonight, the NCAA tournament is underway, and the excitement has some people trying out sports betting, some for the very first time. Joining us now to talk about how to play responsibly is Dr. James Whalen, director of the Institute for Gambling Education and Research. Dr. Whalen, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here, Megan.
Okay, so let's start off first with the elephant in the room. The odds, depending on how you bet, most likely not in your favor. Let's be real here.
That's true. You know, gambling is about a hope and a dream, but the truth of the matter is you should always think about what money am I willing to lose?
Sure. And, you know, I get how people can get sucked into this because it feels like easy money when you win. You chase that dopamine dump. What advice do you have for people who do want to maybe dabble in sports betting?
Yeah, so, you know, the first thing is the other elephant in the room is it actually makes games more fun, particularly games you might not care about usually. So the way people approach this is, I think, the way you should approach all fun things in your life, and that is you walk in the door with a plan. Before you actually go in and start betting, you pick up the app and see what they're going to offer you. You should really first decide how much money are you willing to lose, and then the second thing is, pick and invest a bet in a game that's going to matter to you in some way, a game you want to watch, a game you want to make more fun, rather than just trying to see where and what you can bet and how you can win money. Go and bet about the things you care about and the things you want to win in to make those games more fun. But the key to it is to approach it like you would, for example, if you walked into an ice cream store to buy ice cream. You never walk in there thinking, I want to get all of the flavors. I want to buy all of the ice cream.
Right.
No, you don't do that. You walk in the door and before you get there, you decide if you want one scoop or two, you know? And you should approach your sports betting in the same way as another form of entertainment. How much do I want to bet? How much am I willing to spend tonight? And in what games do I want to make that fun? The other advice I have for people is talk about your bets with people who care about you. A good friend, a family member, somebody who will say to you, hey, man, maybe you're gambling a little too much there, or boy, don't think about that before you move forward. The same way as if you walk into an ice cream parlor and you're thinking, maybe I want 4 scoops. You want to be with somebody that says, come on, dude, you don't need 4 scoops. Those kind of checks in our life about people who care for us is a real valuable thing.
And maybe, you know, exhilarating when you win, but know when to stop too, to walk away a winner so you don't get yourself into a jam.
Oh, that's always a big deal, I think. No matter what form of gambling that's involved, you're going to risk a certain amount of money. But if you win and you want to keep those wins, hey, pocket that, pull that out. The other thing is on the apps, they have tools there to help you take a break, to control how much you're going to bet in a particular day or even a particular week. They have control mechanisms that can help you do that so you don't go a little wilder than you have planned to.
Utilize those tools and play responsibly. Dr. Whalen, thanks so much for helping us navigate, because it is an exciting time. So thanks for walking us through that.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we want to know what you think. How much will you be betting on college basketball this year? 325 votes have come in. Most people not partaking here. 60% say none. 8.6% say they'll be voting over $200 or more. 2.8% said between $100 and $200. And 28.6% say up to $100. This poll is live right now. There's time to weigh in. You can cast your vote by scanning the QR code there on your screen. It will take you to our X page. Our handle's at Fox Nashville, and we'll show you updated poll results here a little later in the newscast.
Well, our rainy day has arrived for tomorrow. We'll be tracking those showers around mainly in the afternoon and the evening now. So the timing has slowed down a little bit. But nonetheless, you can expect those showers to be around, especially after noon. As I mentioned before, the good news, I don't see severe weather to be a big problem for us tomorrow. So this will be a good old-fashioned rain that we are tracking. As far as temperatures go, despite the fact that we've got the cloud cover and the rain showers around, we should top off close to 70 for the afternoon. 61 by 10 o'clock, up to about 70 by the early afternoon hours, and still in the mid to upper 60s by the early evening as the better chances for rain begin to fill in. So let's walk you through future track here. Overnight, a stray shower may be possible. I would say that best bet for that will be along and north of I-40, closer to southern Kentucky. As we head more into Friday midday, that'll be when we start to see these chances for rain increase. Coming in out of the south, where the main source of energy is. This is by 3-4 p.m., moderate to heavy pockets possible, and that'll continue as we head through the early evening hours, about 6-7 p.m. on Friday. As we head into Friday night, still looking at pretty wet conditions that should begin to taper off from west to east as we head through early Saturday morning. We'll likely wake up to a cloudy sky with some light rain to the start of the weekend, but as we head deeper into the morning and more into the afternoon, those rain chances will continue to clear out. So here's a larger picture. This is through 6 p.m. on Friday. Again, the main source of energy stays well south of us, but it is going to throw a lot of moisture our way. As we head into Saturday morning, a secondary front's going to come through and help sweep through and dry us out. As we head into mid-morning, you can see all the rain has left us for Saturday. So increasing sunshine through the day on Saturday. It is going to be a little breezy for Saturday afternoon and a little cool for us as well. But we do stay dry all the way through the weekend into early next week. And right now it's looking like the majority of Monday is dry as well before our next rain chance arrives come Tuesday. So how much is possible that we see out of this event here? Models have been trending anywhere between 1/4 to 1/2 inch. The latest model run coming in now showing possibly up to 1 inch of rainfall. I'd say that is a case for us here, the case to be made that we will have a few of these pockets that will be just over 1 inch. The area that I'm looking at will have the greatest chance, I think, for some of the heavier rain will be along and south of I-40 and possibly east towards the Cumberland Plateau. Another chance for rain not too far out. We'll talk about timing it out in your next Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
I'm Christy.
Find peace and hope in the true light, Jesus. Begin reading the Holy Bible and visit a nearby Christian church this Sunday.
Crisis at the border despite calls to continue with humanitarian sanctuary policies. Leaders in some states are changing course. Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzau explains. And by the way, we want to hear from you on the issue. Just scan the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen to vote.
Cities with long histories of welcoming migrants reversing course, facing new realities stemming from the sheer number and the increasing cost.
And people have a right to be angry over what has happened with the migrants and asylum seeker crisis and how it has impacted on the quality of life.
New York significantly scaling back its right to shelter law. Denver also closing several migrant shelters, with Chicago dialing back its policies as well.
Under the Massachusetts Constitution,
the governor of Massachusetts now in the crosshairs of criticism for her response after a Haitian migrant in her state was charged with raping a 15-year-old.
We have security and systems in place. We have vetting in place. It is unfortunate that from time to time things will happen. And as I say, anywhere, not just in shelter, but anywhere.
Many Haitian migrants already in Mexico, with concerns there may also be an influx making their way to Florida in a matter of days, with this plan just announced.
We do have our transport program also that's going to be operational. So Haitians land in the Florida Keys, their next stop very well may be Martha's Vineyard.
In Pennsylvania, Lancaster County officials just overturned a city law and designated itself a non-sanctuary county.
This massive inflow of people into our country will take resources, will bankrupt our hospital systems.
Their new ordinance requires local law enforcement to comply with ICE detention orders, which migrant advocates warn could dissuade them from reporting crimes.
All people, regardless of immigration status, deserve to be treated with dignity and respect, to feel safe and secure.
Democratic leaders in all of these places are largely blaming Republicans in Congress, as well as former President Trump, for killing a bipartisan deal in the Senate that would have alleviated many of their issues. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau.
During that story, we had the QR code posted on the screen linking up to this poll, asking you, are you concerned about how the migrant crisis is impacting government's budgets? And here are the results. Out of almost 400 votes here, 86.2% say yes, 13.8% say no. State lawmakers wanting to ban cell phones in the classroom, why some call the move dangerous.
Congress confronting technological threats posed by China.
10% during our anniversary sale, going on now at all 3 Lazy Boy locations.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
Covering the state capitol tonight, a plan to ban cell phone use in the classroom will not move forward this session. The bill did not make it past a House committee. Some lawmakers argued phones are too much of a distraction and have no business in class. Opponents argued this could create problems in an emergency.
Learning cannot take place unless a student is engaged. And it's obvious that students are not engaged when they're spending time on their cell phones, when they're on their devices.
And I totally disagree with my colleague to my left over here that discounted the safety portion of this. I think it plays a great role in the safety of our students across this state when it comes to cell phones and notifications, because seconds matter in the event there's an active shooter.
Since the bill failed, local school systems will continue to make their own rules on cell phone use. New tonight, the future of TikTok in the U.S. still up in the air. The Senate debating a bill to force the Chinese parent company of the app to sell or face a U.S. ban. As Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar reports, senators have now received a classified briefing on the issue.
Washington's in a race to outcompete China, and some lawmakers say they are long past a wake-up call. Fears are setting in that the U.S. is falling behind, especially when it comes to technology, putting national security in peril.
Our adversaries use American components in their weapons and their surveillance systems.
Like that infamous Chinese spy balloon last year, which U.S. officials say relied on American technology.
Our current export control system is deeply flawed.
Concerns not unrelated to American semiconductors turning up in Russian weapon systems for its invasion of Ukraine. Partisan disagreements over how to target and implement export controls getting in the way of Congress's ability to close gaps that allow U.S. tech to get into the wrong hands. Meanwhile, an effort to protect Americans' user data from the Chinese Communist Party may be losing momentum. Last week, the House overwhelmingly passed a bill that would force TikTok to be sold from its Chinese parent company ByteDance or be banned in the U.S. Senate leadership appears much more hesitant.
I'm confident of nothing when it comes to the Senate, but I guess I should say I'm cautiously optimistic given the statements of support that many senators, particularly Senators Warner and Rubio, have made.
I absolutely would like to see it expedited. Nobody's talking about a ban. We're talking about transferring the ownership and the algorithm to some other control that's not Chinese.
Warner and other backers of the bill are careful to phrase it that way because they know just how unpopular a TikTok ban would be among young voters in this election year. regardless of how much of a national security threat it may pose. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nishar reporting.
Looking ahead now to the partial solar eclipse in the mid-state here, Rutherford County schools making the call to close classes for this big event. The April 8th partial eclipse in Middle Tennessee will take place during the afternoon hours. At first, the director of schools says he considered an early dismissal or keeping kids in school and offering safety viewing glasses, but out of an abundance of caution, decided it would be safest to keep students at home.
Right in the middle of all of our dismissals, and most importantly, it's right in the middle of our elementary dismissal. We transport between 25 and 30,000 students every single day on our buses, and we want to make sure that our students are safe.
Sullivan says that he understands it's an inconvenience for some parents, but felt closing school for the day was the right move. Extra inclement weather days will be used to cover the time off. All right, so an event to close schools. To witness it, but also, I guess, you know, he's alluded to some sort of chaos, maybe a little.
I'm sure there was some idea too, because again, this is a partial one. It's not going to be a full solar eclipse, total solar eclipse like we had in 2017.
So it will get dark for a few seconds, minutes?
It's not even going to get dark for us. Yeah, no, it will be, if you didn't even know it was happening, you wouldn't even know it happened.
Okay, so.
Which I think is amazing, by the way, that, you know, 94%, 95% of the sun can be covered and you wouldn't even notice.
Wow, that just goes to show you the power of the sun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think, yeah, it is amazing. But I'm sure.
Well, thanks for putting that in perspective.
I know. You know, we'll talk more about the eclipse, of course, in the next couple of weeks, just because we're getting close to it. And I'm sure there were many reasons why they decided to close school, especially with traffic. Now, I-24, I do think is going to be really busy that day, just kind of going off on a tangent, especially north of town, because a lot of people are going to be traveling up the interstate to get to Totality and then back once the eclipse is over. So again, we'll talk more about it as we get a little bit closer to the date. This evening here, my camera's going a little nuts. Live look here from downtown. Things are nice and quiet for tonight. Tonight sunset 7 o'clock. Time the sun set after or at and then after going into the next few days since September 11th of last year. So we are looking at that sun a little later now in the evening hours, which is nice. Breezy and partly cloudy as we take a look at your weekend forecast here. Saturday right around 60 degrees, 66 on Sunday, partly cloudy, a little bit warmer too with a high around mid 60s or so. We'll talk more about our next rain chance that is on the way as we head into next week. This is the one after Friday. Looking at a fairly active pattern over the next couple of weeks, which would be not good news for April 8th, by the way, for the total solar eclipse. But we will detail that rain chance for
USPest.com, and your bugs will be gone before you know it.
US Pest. This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Day one of March Madness, and we've already seen some big upsets. 11-seeded Duquesne took down 6-seeded BYU, and 3-seeded Kentucky, yes, Kentucky, knocked off by 14th-seeded Oakland. And that's just the start of the madness. Good news is the Vols seem to be on the right side of March Madness tonight and are taking care of business against 15th-seeded St. Peter's. Vols stars Dalton Knecht, Jonas Adu leading the way with 13 points apiece as the Vols have a very comfortable 26-point lead at halftime. Now, if they win, then they will be the only SEC team today to win in the first round. Kentucky, Mississippi State, and South Carolina all losing in their opening game. Meanwhile, the Lady Vols are busy getting ready for their March Madness run. 6th-ranked Tennessee taking on 11th-ranked Green Bay tomorrow in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Lady Vols are no stranger to the postseason. They are the only program to compete in every single NCAA tournament since it first started. The last 2 years, they've made it to the Sweet 16. Their goal this year, make it to their first Elite 8 since 2016.
I mean, I feel like we've just grown a lot as a team, and we've really developed into what we are now. And I feel like that's really important because we're...
The Doors keep on dancing. Vanderbilt women won their first 4 playing game last night against Columbia and will now advance to the first round of the tournament tomorrow night. Now, it's the first time since 2013 that the women have won an NCAA tournament game, and they're hoping their run isn't done yet.
We're not just happy to be here. We have a purpose. And today was the first step in that purpose. We prepared all year for this moment. This was our goal from the moment we got together in June, and I'm excited for my players that we get to keep dancing.
Doors will now get ready to face 5th-seeded Baylor Bears tomorrow night in the first round. And don't forget about the Lady Raiders. MTSU earning the 11th seed in the women's NCAA tournament. They will face 6th-seeded Louisville tomorrow in the opening round. Now, these two teams played against each other last year in the regular season. And good news, MTSU won by 18 at home, so hopefully a good sign going into tomorrow's game. And history made tonight for the Nashville Predators. Thanks to their 3-0 shutout victory over the Florida Panthers, the Preds now have the longest point streak in franchise history with 16 games in a row. Incredible. They haven't lost a game in regulation since middle of February. Been a long time. It's also helped them make a strong push for the postseason. Up next, Preds will host the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday at Bridgestone Arena. Jill Johnlick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Coming up, we've got more rain on the way as we head into early next week. We'll have a look at the long-range forecast in a few minutes.
Coming up, we're going to take a look back at a major late-season winter storm that we had move through and also talk about when we expect to see our average last freezes across
on select 2023 Jeep brand vehicles. Hurry, don't miss this great offer.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Tonight in Spotlight on America, the concern over toxic heavy metals like lead and arsenic found in some baby foods. Correspondent Lisa Fletcher taking a look at how states are taking action, where some say the federal government has failed to protect babies.
Hi. Hello, sweetie. Rudy is the best boy. He is the sweetest little boy. He loves to play. He loves blocks and building.
Rudy Callahan is a happy, active toddler, says his mom, Sarah.
Yay, you did it!
So when the phone rang after a routine health screening, the news stopped the family in their tracks.
The Maryland Health Department called and said, hey, your son has lead poisoning. We were shocked.
And confused. Home surveys and searches for sources of lead turned up nothing. Even an X-ray of Rudy's stomach left them without answers.
A work colleague told me that the FDA had issued a recall for the Wanabana apple cinnamon fruit puree pouches. My mouth dropped to the floor.
These pouches are now the subject of a massive recall and international investigation. The cinnamon used to flavor the puree was loaded with lead, 2,000 times above recommended safety standards. Nearly 500 people across 44 states have been poisoned, mostly children around Rudy's age.
I was furious. We thought we were giving him the best, but very obviously we were not.
Despite the known harmful effects to a child's brain and universal agreement among top health agencies that there is no safe level of lead for babies, there is no requirement that baby food makers keep dangerous heavy metals, including lead, out of their products. They're not even required to test for it.
Wanabana is an horrendous case study in something we've been investigating for years, and there are still no enforceable standards. There are no limits set for these toxic ingredients by the FDA. What's your reaction to that?
It just seems like they don't care enough about this vulnerable population of people.
For the Callahans, it's a painful waiting game. Rudy is receiving special care, as his family says he is already exhibiting speech delays. But the true impact of lead on his development may not reveal itself until he grows older.
So unfortunately for us, we live our day-to-day life loving him and being happy with him. But I think inside, we're always waiting for the next shoe to drop.
In the meantime, the Callahans have a champion in the Maryland State House.
I'm here to ask for your favorable report on HB 97,
Rudy's Law.
Maryland state lawmaker Denny Taveras introduced Rudy's Law, which would require manufacturers to test final products and make those results available through QR codes right on the label, putting potential contamination in plain view for parents. Legislation to make similar rules the law of the land have failed in Congress, pushing states to take matters into their own hands.
There should be some kind of regulation, especially on food for babies and infants and toddlers.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Lisa Fletcher.
Well, as we head into tomorrow, of course, we're talking about rain. We're also looking at some showers as we head into early next week, kind of getting back on this train of a more active pattern for us. Again, quiet for tonight. Our rain chances have actually been pushed back more into tomorrow mid-afternoon, and you can see that here. May see a few very light showers overnight into early Friday, but Friday morning's commute now looking fairly dry. More of the rain arriving into the afternoon hours, and could find a few moderate pockets of rain. That's the colors that you see here. This yellow color indicating a little more intense rainfall here in Nashville. That rain chance continues all the way through Friday evening and eventually tapering off as we head into early Saturday morning. So that's Friday's rain chance. We're dry for Saturday and Sunday. Then we get into next week, Monday, more so Tuesday, and into Wednesday, we've got yet another chance for showers that'll be moving in. So I've advanced our future track forward to next Monday here, since we're dry up until this point. As we head towards Monday night, we may have that stray shower chance very late Monday into early Tuesday morning. Now, this model in particular is on the quick side, bringing in showers earlier in the day on Tuesday, compared to a few other models that we use in a long-range fashion that bring in the rain a little bit later in the afternoon, more traditionally mid to late afternoon hours. This one also has a little bit more energy attached to it. We may have some thunderstorms around, better chance of some rumbles of thunder. Severe weather, the question's still out there, but it is something we'll have to keep our eye on as we go into next week. So we move forward in time. You can see that, again, this one takes us through much of the morning, some showers around, and then as we get into the late afternoon hours, here's a second batch that's pushing through. This would be the main event moving in through Tuesday evening into Tuesday night. So we'll be looking at more rain to arrive for us, a pretty decent soaking rain for early next week. Other than that, we're dry for the weekend. Saturday a bit cool, up to about 70 by Monday, and that rain chance arriving as we head into Tuesday of next week. We're a few days into spring now, but it doesn't mean that our chances for any snow and freezing weather is over just yet. Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna taking a look back at a major late March winter storm.
We're going back to 1968 for this one when a powerful winter storm rolled in. At the same time, 56 years ago, many spots were picking up double-digit inches of snowfall. Waynesboro picked up more than a foot of snow, and Dover got right at a foot. Right here in Nashville, we got a little over 8 inches of snow. Also to note, we had overnight low temperatures in the 20s many of those nights during that cold stretch, but on March 24th, Nashville even dropped down to the teens. I want to show you this map right here too. This just kind of highlights some of the snowfall numbers that we had with that major winter snowstorm. Down here over in parts of West Tennessee where you see that darker shade of orange, those areas picked up around 12 to 16 inches of snow. So a very powerful late season snowstorm that we had moved through in 1968. And even though we're now in spring, it's still not out of the ordinary for us to get overnight low temperatures falling to freezing or even a little bit below that. Here in Nashville, out of the last 5 years, 3 of those we had a freezing nights into April. Our average last freeze, though, is around March 28th here in Nashville. In Clarksville, it's about a week later than that. We've also had 3 out of the past 5 years with freezes going into April. And then if we head on over to Crossville, the freezing possibility extends a little bit further even. The average last freeze in Crossville is around April 13th. 4 out of the past 5 years, Crossville has seen temperatures drop to or below freezing into April and even into May.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
In your community tonight, Laverne Public Library members can get a free pass to visit the Outdoor Adventure and Discovery Center in Murfreesboro. Thanks to the work of a former Laverne High School student, families who may not have been able to afford to visit the nearby science-based learning attraction are now able to check out a pass at the Laverne Library. Families can check out the free passes just like they would a library book starting April 1st. They can only be used for a week at a time, and they're valid for 2 adults and up to 4 children. Almost 2/3 of 4th graders here in the U.S. struggle to read at grade level. That's why Fox 17 and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, partnering up with Reading is Fundamental to support children's literacy. You can scan this QR code on your screen to donate to our virtual book drive. Some Vanderbilt students are spending their spring break getting up close and personal with elephants. Why they said they made this decision.
Helping truck accident victims. If you've been injured, call the law firm that wins big truck cases. Get Hughes and Coleman and get it done. Call 800-800-4600.
Well, would you look at this? Some students from Vanderbilt University in Appalachian State spent their spring break volunteering with the Elephant Sanctuary in Hohenwald. The students helped out.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. We track severe weather.
Using our Code Red alerts up to 3 days in advance. This low pressure system looks like it will be arriving in Brentwood at 4:15 on Wednesday.
Providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects. Straight ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight, search efforts ramping up nearly 2 weeks after 22-year-old Riley Strain vanished in downtown Nashville. Today, volunteers gathered on Gay Street, the last known location for the college student. At the same time, several agencies, including the TWRA, EMA, and Ashland City Fire Rescue, searching more than 40 miles from the river in downtown Nashville up to Cheatham County. Strain's stepfather, Chris Whited, said the search is still very much active.
We're still hopeful. You know, no matter what, we're going home with him. Hopefully, you know, we're praying for answers. We're hoping that, you know, it's going to come in the next couple days, but right now we're just still hopeful.
The United Cajun Navy set up tents on Gay Street. This is where volunteers are asked to sign in before assisting in a ground search.
No matter what, we're going.
Continuing coverage tonight as the search also continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who was last seen in Sumner County. And the teenager has autism. No one has seen him since February 26, but the community still holds on to the hope that he'll be brought home safe. Deputies in Sumner County pulled back on the search a couple of weeks ago so they could zero in their focus on the investigation into his disappearance. New tonight, the city of Laverne will now pay $500,000 to a former police officer in order to settle a lawsuit. Megan Hall sued the city after she says her supervisors on the police force took advantage of her. Her attorney argues they groomed her to perform sex acts. The sex scandal rocked the department, leading to the firing of the city's police chief last year. The city did not admit to any wrongdoing. And turning now to Operation Crime and Justice, more than a year after the murder of a man outside of a Madison business, Metro Police have now made a second arrest. Police arresting 26-year-old Joquez Sangster today on a second-degree murder charge after that shooting. Police arrested 27-year-old Stephanie Hernandez earlier this month as well. Metro Police say somebody shot and killed 48-year-old Timothy Fetter back in January of 2023 near his family's auto business in Madison. New tonight, Tennessee paving the way when it comes to protecting music artists from AI. Governor Bill Lee signing into law the Elvis Act. Lawmakers say it ensures those using artificial intelligence will not be able to get away with ripping off an artist's voice. It's something singers and songwriters say they're grateful for.
I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to every single person in this room for making it a priority in Tennessee to protect creators' voices and personal attributes. No one wants to hear their voice or see their image taken without permission or used out of context.
Lawmakers say it's about preserving the gifts of talented individuals. This week on Full Measure, there's a big economic transition happening in communist Cuba right now. Decades ago, the government seized private businesses and property, putting it at odds with the U.S. and other Western nations. But now government officials say they are declaring the Soviet-style economy dead and embracing a hint of capitalism.
Is this the first time since the revolution that Cubans have had the opportunity to do what you're doing?
History books tell you that 1968 was the last time that Cuban nationals could do what we are doing now.
Big change.
Yeah, it's a big change.
This week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson reports from Havana as one of America's closest foreign neighbors experiments with change and asks for help from the U.S. That's Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Fox 17.
Tomorrow morning, we'll be waking up with a mostly cloudy sky. Earlier in the week, we thought the rain chance might be for early Friday morning. Now it is looking like more Friday afternoon that we'll see those showers arrive. Still partly, or I should say mostly cloudy to overcast skies for the morning hours. That'll help keep temperatures a little more mild for the overnight, right around 50 at 7 o'clock, 56 by 9 with maybe a peak of sunshine or two, but again, expecting those showers to move in by the afternoon hours. Temperatures at the moment in the mid to upper 50s here in Nashville, around 57, 51 in Clarksville, Murfreesboro sitting at 56 degrees. And as we zoom out, you can see where those showers are going to be coming from. From the great state of Texas here, we're looking at those showers to build in and push into parts of Tennessee by tomorrow midday. Main source of energy is going to stay south of us, and we're not expecting severe weather with this, but we'll have those showers around as we go through the overnight, or I should say the afternoon and evening hours for tomorrow. Overnight tonight, temperatures stay again a little on the mild side. Area wide should be in the low 50s to our south. Lewisburg, Tullahoma, Lawrenceburg right around 52. Nashville sitting at about 47 degrees. Will be slightly cooler out towards Cookeville and Crossville, sitting at 45 in Crossville here, and a little cool up in southern Kentucky as well, as the cloud cover will just take a little bit longer to reach southern Kentucky here. So 44 in Tompkinsville, Hopkinsville sitting at 44 also. We'll walk you through the timing for the rain tomorrow. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
As criticism for Israel's prime minister's handling of the conflict in Gaza grows, top lawmakers in Washington have invited Netanyahu to speak to Congress, and billions of dollars in U.S. military aid are on the line.
And almost 2/3 of fourth graders here in the U.S. struggle to read at grade level. That's why Fox 17 and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, partnering up with Reading is Fundamental to support children's literacy. You can scan this QR code to donate to our virtual book drive.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover. Don't have time to work out, or maybe you just don't feel like working out? Well, there is a new pill that could let you reap the benefits.
Stay safe. Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
Covering the Capitol, it's crunch time once again in Washington as Congress races to make a deal before another government funding deadline. Lawmakers have until 8 on Friday night to approve spending limits, or parts of the government will start to shut down. Fox News' Rebecca Castor has the latest on negotiations.
In the wee hours of Thursday morning, Congress released more than 1,000 pages of government funding legislation. But there's little time left for lawmakers to pass it to avoid a partial government shutdown Friday, putting operations at the Departments of Defense, Labor, Health and Human Services, Education, and others on the line.
We're talking about how to expedite it as quickly as possible, but also allow all the members to have an adequate time to review the legislation.
House Speaker Mike Johnson will likely waive a House rule requiring that members have 72 hours to review bills before voting on them. But that still leaves the upper chamber, and at least one senator is already threatening to hold up the legislation.
It's sad to say, when we look at the blame for the debt, that the blame goes to both parties.
The legislation includes over $1 trillion in bipartisan spending measures. Republicans negotiated more spending for U.S. defense and border security and cut off funding for a UN agency providing humanitarian relief to Palestinians in Gaza after claims employees participated in the October 7th attack in Israel. Meanwhile, Democrats are happy about lowering child care costs and blocking cuts to federal DEI programs.
These aren't the bills that Democrats would have written on our own.
They are the result of very tough negotiations. We've had to stick to some very difficult top lines and fight off literally hundreds of Republican poison pills.
But the spending negotiations won't end here. Lawmakers are still reviewing President Biden's budget proposal for 2025, which includes tax hikes for billionaires and tax breaks for families. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
In politics tonight, embattled Senator Bob Menendez says he won't run for re-election in the Democratic primary, but could try for an independent bid. This comes during calls for the New Jersey Democrat to resign over federal bribery charges. He and his wife are accused of accepting bribes for political influence. Menendez has consistently denied any wrongdoing in the case. He says he hopes this is all over during the summer so he can run as an independent in the November election. New tonight, the United Nations adopting a first-of-its-kind resolution on artificial intelligence. The resolution lays out a path for international cooperation on the technology, including steps to manage the risks of AI and guard against misuse. U.S. leaders say the United States worked on the proposal with more than 120 countries, including Russia, China, and Cuba. The process included several months of negotiations. The resolution was adopted without a vote, meaning it has the support of all 193 United Nations member nations.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, should non-citizens be able to vote? That debate straight ahead.
Or get 0% financing for 36 months on select 2023 and 2024 vehicle trims.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Both Hyundai and Kia are recalling over 147,000 cars combined. The vehicles are being recalled over issues with a charging unit that could cause damage or a loss of power. Federal safety officials say the issues could increase the risk of a crash. Reddit has joined the New York Stock Exchange. It's the first major social media offering since 2019. The company priced its IPO at $34 per share, putting its valuation at about $6.4 billion. Experts say multiple fast food companies could use customer data to adjust prices based on demand. Dynamic pricing is reportedly already used by Amazon, which changes the pricing on their products multiple times per day. And New York City bakeries say business is booming for crookies, a mix between a chocolate chip cookie and a croissant. They cost about $7 and are also made in Paris, Singapore, and Amsterdam. They're so popular, one baker in the Big Apple told the New York Post they sold out in 2 hours over this past weekend. That's business in New York. I'm CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, there's a debate sparking over whether people who are not born in the U.S. should be allowed to vote in state and local elections. Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins breaking down the issue.
Voting in elections has been a hallmark of American citizenship since the founding of the country. Now some are pushing to expand that right. David Trone, the Democratic frontrunner in what's shaping up to be a tight Senate race in Maryland, is the latest to argue citizenship and voting rights should extend to the millions of migrants who came to the United States illegally. While only U.S. citizens can vote in federal elections, a growing number of state and local elections allow non-citizens to vote. Last year, D.C. joining the ranks of San Francisco and Oakland, California, along with a handful of cities in Maryland and Vermont.
Indeed, there's a long history in the United States of non-citizens being allowed to vote in local, state, territorial, and federal elections.
But last month in New York, a state appeals court ruling a New York City law allowing non-citizens to vote in local races violates the state constitution.
It is unconstitutional. Only United States citizens should vote, and they need to stop trying to strip away the voices of our American citizens and diluting them with policies like this.
Right. Some on the left, like California Congressman Jim Costa, say non-citizen voting is a step too far.
I don't think that non-citizens ought to be given that right. Citizenship gives certain rights as Americans, and one of those rights is the right to vote. But I think that comes part and parcel with citizenship.
Immigration surging in the polls as a top issue for voters and in the presidential election. Donald Trump working in non-citizen voting into his criticism of President Biden. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting. Continuing coverage tonight, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he will invite Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to address Congress.
I would love to have him come and address a joint session of Congress. We'll certainly extend that invitation. He invited me, and I've been invited to speak at the Knesset there. I would think I would be the third U.S. speaker in history to do that. It'd be a great honor of mine. We're just trying to work out schedules on all this.
Well, this comes after Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer sharply criticized Netanyahu in a speech on the Senate floor last week. Johnson blasted the comments as outrageous. Schumer issued a statement saying he would welcome an address by Netanyahu, saying in part, quote, Israel has no stronger ally than the United States, and our relationship transcends any one president or any one prime minister. Turning now to your business news. Netflix expanding its live sporting programming, and it's not expected to become a major competitor for live sports media rights anytime soon. The streaming giant scheduled to air a fight between former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson and social media star Jake Paul in July. The next year, it will start carrying World Wrestling Entertainment's flagship show, Monday Night Raw. Experts note so far the company's ventures into live sports have served as support programming for its documentaries and series. All right, back to our poll. Earlier in the newscast, we showed you these numbers on the poll that's been up and running today, asking how much will you be betting on college basketball this year? Most people, 61.5%, say none. 27.7% say they'll bet anywhere up to $100. 8.2% say they're betting $200 and above, taking that money to Vegas, I'm guessing. And 2.6% of people say they're going to bet somewhere between $100 and $200. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can take part in.
Here comes the rain on the way for tomorrow, and now looks like a little more into the afternoon compared to what we thought earlier in the week. That could be an early morning rain for us here. Nonetheless, we'll see those showers around. It'll be a good drink of water for us. And then going into the weekend, we should be drying out. We take a look at temperatures here. Despite the cloud cover and the rain, we will still climb above average for tomorrow, right around 70, which should be about 5 degrees above average. Mostly cloudy skies here at 10 o'clock. We'll look at a partly to mostly cloudy sky for the afternoon, and a couple showers starting to move in after, I'd say, about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And more chances for showers here as we head deeper into the afternoon, early evening. So let's walk you through future track here. Cloud cover rolling through tomorrow morning. In fact, a stray shower can't be ruled out in our northern counties along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. These will be rather light, though. Most of us stay dry with a cloudy sky through noon. This is lunchtime right here. And then as we head towards 3, 4 p.m., better chances of rain building in. A couple moderate to heavy pockets of rain will be possible for us. The good news, severe weather not on the table for tomorrow, so this will be a good old-fashioned rain for us. As we head towards the evening, scattered showers here, a couple pockets of heavy rainfall, and that'll continue through early Saturday morning. This will all start to wrap out overnight as you're sleeping. But even Saturday morning, I wouldn't be surprised if you wake up to a few light showers along with cloudy skies. Won't be until the afternoon that we start to see all of this clear out. So a wider view, you can see the main energy staying well south of us. Here are those showers. They push out as we head into Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon looking quiet. It will be a little cool. Temperatures only around 60 degrees and the wind's a bit breezy, but will stay dry as we go through Saturday, Sunday, and into early Monday. As we get into Monday night, our next rain chance is on the way. How much are we looking at? The latest run of Future Track now painting about an inch in some spots. It's definitely possible. I'd say about a ½ inch to 1 inch. Some locally higher amounts could be possible for us. What I've seen the same trend here over the past several days is that some of our lower numbers look to be north near the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Some of the higher numbers kind of through the heart of Middle Tennessee and then south of I-40. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Not looking too bad. Very spring-like for us now that we are fully in spring. We'll see a couple of dry days Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, actually, until the rain chances move in once again. That'll be Tuesday.
Your dinner. Morning to night, get 2 wraps, $5. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Preds.
Day one of March Madness, and we've already seen some big upsets. 11-seeded Duquesne took down 6-seeded BYU, and 3-seeded Kentucky. Yes, Kentucky got knocked off by 14th-seeded Oakland. And that's just the start of the madness. The good news is Vols seem to be on the right side of March Madness tonight and are taking care of business against 15th-seeded St. Peter's. Vols star Dalton Connect leading the way with a game-high 19 points as the Vols have a 30-point lead over the Peacocks in the second half. Now, Vols, if they win this, they'll advance to the second round and face Texas. They will also be the only SEC team to win today. Kentucky, Mississippi State, and South Carolina all losing in the opening round. Meanwhile, the Lady Vols are busy getting ready for their March Madness run. 6th-ranked Tennessee taking on 11th-ranked Green Bay tomorrow in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. And Lady Vols are no stranger to the postseason. They are the only program to compete in every single NCAA tournament since it first started. The last 2 years, they've made it to the Sweet 16, and the goal this year, make it to the Elite 8 for the first time since 2016.
I mean, I feel like we've just grown a lot as a team, and we've really developed into what we are now. And I feel like that's really important because we're...
The doors keep on dancing. Vanderbilt women won their first 4 play-in game last night against Columbia and will now advance to the first round of the NCAA tournament tomorrow night. Now, it's the first time since 2013 the women have won an NCAA tournament game, and they're hoping their run isn't done yet.
We're not just happy to be here. We have a purpose. And today was the first step in that purpose. We prepared all year for this moment. This was our goal from the moment we got together in June. And I'm excited for my players that we get to keep dancing.
Doors will now get ready to face 5th-seeded Baylor Bears tomorrow night in the opening round. Now, don't forget about the Lady Raiders. MTSU earning the 11th seed in the women's NCAA tournament this year. And they'll face 6th-seeded Louisville tomorrow in the first round. Now, these two teams played against each other last season in the regular season, where MTSU won by 18 points at home. So a very good sign going into tomorrow's matchup. And how about a little history made on the ice tonight for the Nashville Predators? Thanks to their 3-0 shutout victory over the Florida Panthers, the Preds now have the longest point streak in franchise history with 16 games in a row. They haven't lost a game in regulation since middle of February. That's how long they have been on this hot streak, and it's helped them make a strong push for the postseason. Next up, they'll host the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday night at Bridgestone Arena. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
A kinder line of F-150s plus 1.9% financing for 72 months available. Some scratched, some didn't, some not, but all with big savings. Town & Country Ford in Madison.
In your health news, a newer method for treating certain types of skin cancer as an alternative to surgery. Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonas shows us how it works.
Hey there, everybody. This newer treatment is often referred to as a kinder, gentler way to treat skin cancer that is still near the surface of the skin. It can be done right in the office of your dermatologist.
Carolyn Rudolph chose this treatment after she noticed a small spot on her nose.
In this particular case, it was something I had noticed, and I just thought it just seemed unusual. So my dermatologist did a biopsy, and it turned out to be basal cell cancer.
It is called image-guided superficial radiotherapy, or IGSRT for short. Dr. Elizabeth Munich is a dermatologist here at Ohio's Dermatology and Skincare Associates and told me in appropriate candidates it leads to a 99% cure rate for basal and squamous cell skin cancers. Here's how it works.
So she does an ultrasound of the area. She can see where the tumor is, and we can get an idea of how deep it is and the new healthy tissue growing in, so we can actually watch the tumor shrink.
After this tracking ultrasound is performed at each visit, Carolyn is set up for a precise dose of low-level X-ray energy through a tiny cone. Once turned on,
it's just like a 30 to 40 second treatment. It's painless.
Carolyn will need as many as 20 treatments because the dosing each time is so low.
So what did that feel like when they get the zap? Do you feel it?
You don't feel anything, no. It's just a little bit of pressure from the machine.
The most common side effects are usually skin irritation, redness, and thinning, which do go away following treatment. This therapy is Medicare approved, and in most cases, it is covered by your medical insurance plan. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
All right, Katie, send us on into tomorrow.
Tomorrow looking mild with highs in the upper 60s, but good chance of showers developing mid to late afternoon.